Hi everybody, my name is Jason.
I'm Caden.
I'm Jaden.
I'm Yah.
And we are the Yahushua and the Torah channel, and we thank you guys very, very much for hanging out with us, for listening to today's reading that we are doing. We are working on the laws, statutes, and commandments of Messiah Yahushua, and there are laws, statutes, and commands of Messiah Yahushua, and this is what we are trying to identify, because we are the people who believe that the laws, statutes, and commands of Yahuwah, which everyone knows as God, is good for all times. It is good till heaven and earth pass away. It is good till we, I guess, till we find the kingdom. And even then, the laws, statutes, and commands of our Creator are something amazing and something awesome. And so we will begin. And today is the first day. It is the 11th month of on our Creator's calendar. It is it is the 5th day of February. It is the first day, 14th day on the Creator's calendar, 5th day of February, first day of the week, the day that I was going over it with my mother. I don't want to toss my poor dear mother under the bus, but she is the absolute perfect example of all of this. And I told her the other day that I asked her, I said, "Mom, did you like it when I was disobedient and I lied to you as a child?" She's like, no, I beat your rear. And I'm like, "Yes, Mother, you absolutely did." Now, what do you think that our Creator would do is if you disobeyed Him and you worshipped on a seventh day or a first day instead of a seventh day? And she's like, "Well, if He comes and spanks my rear end, then I will know that I was wrong." And I was like, "Mom, you're missing the entire point of this. Our Creator has said this," and she is so hoaxed into the Christian religion that it breaks my heart when I talk to my mother on things of this nature. So. Let's continue on. John 14. One thing I did want to go over real quick, and this is from a while ago. You guys remember in the chapter where it talked about Thomas being a twin, right? Mm-hmm. All right. This is from 3 days ago. So let me read what Brother Glenn had to say, because I found this in the comments, and I don't want him to write this stuff without us going over it, because he always writes us a lot of really, really good stuff. Okay. And so this was from John from like 3 or 4 chapters ago when we were talking about this. Let's see what he says. In verse 15, Yahushua's statement that he rejoices over the death of his friend still comes as something of a shock, as it must certainly have been for his disciples. Yet he rejoices on their behalf because he knows that the outcome of Lazarus' death, the miracle that he's going to perform, will become the occasion of the disciples' belief. Why does Yahushua make this statement? It seems necessary to understand the disciples' belief here in some developmental sense, because there are numerous references to the disciples' faith previous in this gospel, notably John 2:11. Their concept of who Yahushua is continually being expanded and challenged. They are undergoing spiritual growth. The climax is reached in the confession of Thomas in 2028, which involves not just messiahship or kinship, but Yahushua's power given by Yah. John 11:16. One gets the impression that Thomas's statement that he is something of a pessimist, resigned to his fate, and yet this dedicated loyalty to Yahushua and his determination to accompany him at all costs is commendable. Nor is the contrast between this statement and the confession of Thomas in 2028, which forms the climax of the entire fourth gospel, to be overlooked. Certainly Thomas's concept of who Yahushua is has changed drastically between 11:16 and 2028. There is no description of the journey itself. We are simply told that when Yahushua arrived, he found that Lazarus had already been in the tomb for 4 days. He was buried sometime before this, but probably not very long. Ananias and Sapphira in Acts 5, 6, and 10 were buried immediately after they died, as was the common practice of the time. There is some later evidence, early 3rd century, of a rabbinic belief that the soul hovered near the body of the deceased for 3 days, hoping to be able to return to the body. But on the 4th day, it was the beginning of decomposition and finally departed. If this belief were as old as the 1st century, it might suggest the significance of the 4 days. After this time, resurrection would be a first-order miracle and an unequivocal demonstration of the power of Elohim. It is not certain if the tradition is this early, but it is suggestive. Certainly, the evangelist does not appear to attach any symbolic significance to the 4 days in the narrative. Thomas the Apostle, also called Doubting Thomas or Didymus, meaning twin, his name derives from a Hebrew word ta'am, which means paired twin. In fact, John's Gospel several times calls for him, Didymus, a Greek nickname for precisely twin. The reason for this nickname is unclear. Thomas was also called Didymus, which in Greek means twin or double. Okay, that was that. And thank you very much, Brother Glenn, for that and always helping us out when it comes to things of this nature. Thoughts?
That was really good.
Yeah.
So,
I mean,
should we call you guys Didymus?
maybe. I don't
You
know.
guys are twins. You don't look alike, but you definitely are twins. You came out within, 1 minute of each other?
Yep.
Jebs pops out of the tummy first, and then Cade comes out. You guys look like little blood sacks. It was really quite disturbing. I don't know how. I'll tell you what. I don't know how these guys. We just had another friend of ours just had another baby, and they delivered the baby themselves. In fact, we know like 3 couples now that have actually done this themselves. And I know for those who have done it, and we say actually, it is a huge thing. It's like when people go, "Oh, well, I'm going to go live off grid." Yeah, most people never ever live off grid, but we deliver our own babies. You're like, wow, that is absolutely. I'm going to say crazy or absolutely awesome. And the entire medical system that we're in. They want to charge you $10,000 and then have you stabbed with a bunch of stuff. And I mean, it's just the medical establishment is pretty foul. And so it's amazing that these couples are able to deliver babies by themselves. And I don't know if I'd be man enough to do that. I might just pass out cold. I will tell you, when you guys were getting cut up out of mom, I did almost. Right after that, the whole experience of that, I ran outside to the sink and I chucked. And I was about several times. I was on my feet. I was about to go out. And see, you guys were on one side. They put a curtain right down the middle of her. So I'm on one side looking at your mother, and she's like sitting there talking to me. And then the other side, like right over there's like a whole bunch of guys, and they have a big old hole in her stomach. And it was very disturbing because they took her guts and all her stuff and set it up on top of her stomach, on her stuff. And they started using the vacuums and started doing all this stuff and pulling you guys out of there. And I'm just sitting there, and she's like looking at me like nothing's going on, like she doesn't feel a thing. And she doesn't know what I'm seeing. And I'm just like, this isn't good. This isn't good at all. And then about the end of that, I think they took me. Did they take me out, Nicole?
Yeah.
They took me out because I was about to go out myself. And so I didn't need any anesthesia to go out. I was about to go out. So
It was a C-section.
it was a C-section, just so everyone knows, right? So I guess, if you guys don't know that was a C-section. I guess they do that with twins. I don't know how we would have birthed you.
Normally.
Not normally?
You can have them natural.
Can you?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Why'd you have it normal?
Because Jaden's heart rate kept dropping, and so they were
This
worried.
is what the medical establishment said.
Yes, because Jaden's heart rate kept dropping, baby A. His heart rate kept dropping, so they put a probe on his head, and
They stuck some things into his head.
they were afraid that it wasn't going to be very good, and so they did
What
the
wasn't gonna be good?
C-section,
Like the
the
pregnancy?
delivery and everything. Yeah, so they did a C-section, but come to find out, it's because Caden had his umbilical cord wrapped around his neck. So Jaden actually supposedly saved Caden for that reason.
Somebody saved somebody. I don't know who it was, but we do know that baby A, Jaden, was very, very active. He was always in mom's tummy, and you would see it. It was very creepy looking. It was like an alien coming up. I'm sitting there, and again, I'm a dude, so guys are totally different when it comes to babies and pregnancies and things of that nature. But she's like, "Look, there's an elbow coming out of my stomach," and there was just like a little thing, and it was an elbow, and you guys would move all around in there, and the two of you. She got huge. She got the size of a beach ball. It was amazing. It was absolutely amazing. Okay, John 14. Here we go. Sorry, guys, a little too much here. Speaking of that, let not your heart be troubled. Believe in Yahuwah, believe also in me. All right, what do we make of this? Believe in Yahuwah, believe in me. Right?
She says basically it's different people believe in both of us.
Yeah, and so if it was the same person, it would say, you guys believe in Yah, well, I am here, right? I am here. But he never says that. Okay, and then again, this is again a Trinity breaker right here. In my Father's house are many staying places, and if not, I would have told you. I go to prepare a place for you. Again, he clearly says it's his Father's house, right? Is this guy a psychopath? Is this really his house? And he's like, well, it's my Father, right? This is a trick. You guys think that the devil's trickery. Wait till you see what I got for you guys, right? And it's not like that, right? Our Creator is honest. He follows the Torah. He wrote the Torah. And in that, we're not to have deceptive practices like that. If he went and told us this lie after he wrote us the Torah, it would be psychopathic. It would be really crazy. 3. So anyway, Messiah just says there's a house for us, right? And he says there's a mansion. He says this is a promise. Do you guys believe this right here?
Yeah.
He says, in my Father's house are many staying places. And if not, I would have told you. So what would he told us? Like, there's no room for you? There's no room at the Father's Inn?
Yeah, I guess so.
Something of the sort. So there's a house for us. 3. And if I go and prepare a place for you, I shall come again and receive you to myself, that where I am, you might be too. All right, so what can we take a look at with if we have a house? if we have a house in the Shamayim, what can we gather from this? What are our thoughts?
That we might be going to Shamayim.
Well, we know that in some places it talks about us eating with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, right? Being able to eat with our forefathers, things of that nature. So it sounds like a regular life, a life that is kind of like this one, but is in a different spot. It sounds like we have a house. It sounds like we have food. Okay, 4. And where I go, you know. Wow. And where I go, you know, and the way you know. Is that right?
Yeah, and then 7 says, whether I go, ye know, and the way ye know.
Verse 4, Kate.
And where I go, you know, and the way you know.
No, it doesn't say, and where I go, you know.
Yeah.
Is that what it says?
Yeah.
And the way you know.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you. It just sounded weird, didn't it?
Yeah,
and where I go, you know, and the way you know. How would they know where it's going? I mean,
And 7 says, and whether I go, ye know, and the way ye know.
The Amplified says, and where I'm going, you know the way.
you know the way. Okay. Well, it sounds like they didn't know the way. Okay. Thomas said to him, Adonai, we do not know where you are going and how we are able to know the way. Okay, so he said the same thing.
Someone's honest.
Yeah. Yahushua said to him, I am the way and the truth and the Kai. No one comes to the Father except through me. And that's what emissary of Elohim, he spelled it differently, Chai, which threw you off yesterday because Nicole she didn't know what Kai was, but he spelled it differently than how we know it. And so, yeah.
He then explained it to me in the chat.
Yeah. But this is the Kai this means life right here, guys. Khai is that. And I guess the life is pagan or something. I don't know why they replaced that one. Anyone know?
I have no idea.
Okay. No one comes to the Father except through me. If you had known me, you would have known my Father too. From now on, you know him and have seen. Okay. Well, did he just say he is the Father?
No.
This is where the Christians will take this. They'll take one thing right here. If you had known me, you would have known my Father too. Well, did he just say he is the Father?
No.
Well, if we know the Son, how do we know the Father?
Because the Father sent him, and if we believe in him, we believe in the Father.
Now, if I send you guys out to go somewhere to do something, and you guys, raise hell, did you come from me? I mean, did I send you out to go raise the hell, right? Mm-hmm. How would people know that you came from me or that you are on your own?
Well, I would come in your name, right?
You would say, hey, we're here from Boss Clan. My dad sent me to help you, right? If I sent you to go help some orphans, widows, and lepers, and you went and you stole from them or did something to them, I don't think you could be said you came in my name, right? Because I would not allow you guys to do such a thing, and I would not want my name representing that kind of evil, right? And so this is what he's talking about here too. Those who know the Father know him because he was doing what the Father told him to do. He was walking the Torah perfectly. So he is not the Father, is my entire point in this. 8, Philippos said to him, Adonai, show us the Father, and it is enough for us. Yahushua said to him, have I been with you so long, and you have not known me, Philippos? He who has seen me has seen the Father. And how do you say, show us the Father? Okay, well, Philippos is definitely confused. Thoughts? What are thoughts on this? Because I know the Christians will take this chapter right here, and they will say, "Look, he says, if you see me, you see the Father. That he's the Father. That's plain and
When you
simple."
see how the Father is, you see how the Father acts. You see what the Father wants. You basically know Yahushua, you'll know the Father because they want the same things.
Yeah. Okay. 10. Do you not believe that I am in the Father, and the Father is in me? The words that I speak to you, I do not speak of myself, but the Father who stays in me does his works. Again, our Messiah is either a psychopath, and his father is a psychopath. And Father, please don't strike me down. I'm simply giving an illustration here. But they're not, right? How is it the words that he speaks, he doesn't speak of himself? But he says that, right above that, he says, the Father is in me.
He's doing the Father's will, what the Father has commanded him. He is speaking what Yahuwah wants him to speak, and Yahuwah is in him. Yahuwah he has do what he wants.
And it says the Father who stays in me does his works. What does that mean?
It's his spirit. The spirit of Yah stays in him.
And what are the works? What are the works of Yah?
The Torah.
The Torah, yeah, that's what the work should be. That is what his word is. Okay, 11. Believe me that I am in the Father and the Father in me. Otherwise, believe me because of the works themselves. And again, this chapter, the Christians would take this and they would run for the hills with this, and they will pray to Messiah Yahushua, they'll pray to Jesus, they'll pray to Mary, they'll pray to everyone else, they pray to the Ruach HaKodesh, but they forget about the Father, and the Father is one. And again, it says, believe me that I am in the Father and the Father in me. I've done this example before, but Jaden, is your dad in you? Do you represent, how?
You send me out to do work, I am doing what you want me to do.
And if you don't do it right, you get drilled. Right. And so there's a judgment to the work that you do, and the work is based upon my wishes of the farm and things of that nature. 12. Truly, truly, I say to you, he who believes in me, the works that I do, he shall do also. And greater than these he shall do, because I go to my Father. Thoughts?
He's going to his Father. He's going to see his Father. And if we believe in him, we will do great works.
Yeah. The works that I do, he shall do also. What does he mean by that? He starts off and he says, he who believes in me, the works that I do, he shall do also.
Well, if we believe, we'll be doing, and we believe and we trust that what he says is true, we'll be doing great works as well.
We should be, right? We should be doing stuff in the name of the Father and the Son. 13. And whatever you ask in my name, that I shall do, in order that the Father might be esteemed in the bin. Okay, this is a huge, right? A lot of people don't do this. When you wrap your prayers up, they should wrapped up in the name of Yahushua, right? And that is, we're not praying to Jesus, dear Jesus, or Father Jesus, right? That is not the right thing. Father and Messiah are not the same people. So when you end your prayers, you want to ask them and wrap everything up that it is in the name of Yahushua. And it's also, the prayers also need to be, what is the will of our Creator? Because if we pray against the will of our Creator, then you could be sitting there waiting for our prayers to be answered for years and years and years, and it's something that is not in the will of our Creator. 14. If you ask whatever in my name, I shall do it. If you love me, you shall guard my commands. Okay, we got to go over this one, guys. The Christians say there's only 2 commandments, right? To love God with all your heart, mind, and soul, and to love your neighbor as yourself. What commands is he talking about, and what does this mean? If you love me, you shall guard my commands.
The Torah.
Okay.
He talked about his commands. He gave us commands. He told us, he says, if you love me, keep my commands. And he has said his commands are not his commands, but the commands of his Father, and the Father's commands is the Torah.
Yeah, and I will take it back to a family life here, and that if I give you guys lists of stuff to do, and we do stuff, and you guys refuse to do them, and you don't want to do them, I would have to say, okay, well, you either don't respect me, or you don't love me, or you don't care, or something of the sort, right? If you guys are belligerent rebels that are just wild and going completely against everything that I have told you to do, I would have to say and conclude that you probably don't love me, and for sure don't respect me. And so this is the big thing. And when he says guard my commands, is he talking about Messiah's commandments, or is he talking about Yahuwah's commandments?
Well, he said that his commandments are not his own, but of his Father.
Yeah, and so, he's talking about his Father's commandments. 16. And I shall ask the Father, and he shall give you another helper to stay with you forever, the Ruach of the truth, whom the world is unable to receive because it does not see him or know him, but you know him, for he stays with you, and he stays with you and shall be in you. Okay, we have the Ruach of truth. This is a little something different, right? The Ruach Emeth, right? What do we make of the Ruach of truth?
It's different. I think it's something definitely different from the Ruach HaKodesh.
It's different from all the other spirits. I mean, there's another spirit. I think there is a spirit of truth that shows you truth.
Yeah, and I think if you're not seeking the Torah, if you're not seeking the ways of Yah, then I don't know if you will have the spirit of truth. It's like one of these things that it's a journey, it's a path that we get. And our Creator will give us these different kinds of power-ups, per se. And one of them is the spirit of truth. And when you see the spirit of truth, when you see what truth is, it's hard to believe a lie. It is really, really hard to go back into it. And so the spirit of truth is a big thing. 18. I shall not leave you orphans. I am coming to you. Yet a little while, and the world no longer sees me. But you shall see me, because I live, and you shall live. In that day, you shall know that I am in my Father, and you in me, and I in you. Okay, so if the Father and the Son are all one, this statement right here would make you equivalent to the Son and the Father, which would be crazy blasphemy, which would be crazy, right? Because he said, in that day you shall know that I am in my Father, and you in me, and I in you. This is, guys, this is what he's talking about. This is us. He's not saying that we are gods or something, right? That is not what this is saying, or that we are even close or even near the same level as our Messiah and our Father, right? He's just saying that when we keep the Torah, when we keep the laws, statutes, and commandments, that is how the Father is in you. Our obedience proves whether or not we are loyal to our Father or we are not. Okay, 21. He who possesses my commands and guards them, it is he who loves me. And he who loves me shall be loved by my Father, and I shall love him and manifest myself to him. Again, two separate entities, right? He who possesses my commands and guards them, it is he who loves me. And that's what I would say as well. You know, here in this house, if you guys do what I tell you to do, that's how you would prove a piece of love, right? It's not being the rebellious person that is always trying to fight everyone. Okay, 22. Yehuda, not the one from Kirioth, said to him, Adonai, what has come about that you are about to manifest yourself to us and not to the world? Yahushua answered him, if anyone loves me, he shall guard my word, and my Father shall love him, and we shall come to him and make our stay with him. Okay, he clearly says right here, he shall guard my word. What is the word again, guys?
The Torah.
The Torah.
Yeah, the Torah. It's the same word as his father's, right? And it says, if you guard the word, if you guard the Torah, it says our Father loves us, right? There's not a lot of conditions here for what we need to do, right? If we keep the laws, statutes, and commands of our Creator, that is where the promises of the Shemaim and the kingdom road begin. Okay, 24. He who does not love me does not guard my words. And the word which you hear is not mine, but of the Father who sent me. Clearly, again, the word which you hear is not mine, but of the Father who sent me. If he was the Father, then this would make him insane, and he's not. Okay, 25. These I have spoken to you while still with you. But the Helper, the Ruach HaKodesh, whom the Father shall send in my name, he shall teach you all and remind you of all that I said to you. Peace I leave with you. My peace I give to you. I do not give to you as the world gives. Do not let your heart be troubled, neither let it be afraid. You heard that I said to you, I am going away, and I am coming to you. If you loved me, you would have rejoiced that I said, I am going to the Father, for my Father is greater than I.
Two different people.
Two different people, right? If he was the Father, this is crazy, right? This would be a crazy person. Lock this guy up. He's the Father saying he's the Son, but it's weird. But yet we have 65,000 religions that believe this, or give or take. 29. And now I have told you before it takes place, that when it does take place, you shall believe. I shall no longer talk much with you, for the ruler of this world is coming, and he possesses not in me. But in order for the world to know that I love the Father, and that as the Father commanded me, so I am doing. Rise up. Let us go from here. Okay, last verse, it says that I love the Father. He says he loves the Father. If he is himself, he would not, I guess you would say, I love myself, right? People love themselves. But then he says the Father commanded me. Again, he is not the same as his Father. The Father and the Son are two separate people. And so it says the last thing, rise up. Let us go from here. All right, thoughts, everyone?
Yeah, I mean, it clearly states two people. I mean, if you were to read this without having any indoctrination, it would clearly be two different people. I mean, you wouldn't look at this like, and maybe that's the same person. No, it's obvious there's two different people here.
Yeah, and that's what we're trying to break is all of these doctrines of men and all this man-made doctrines that have us believing things. And, you know, this came from the Church of Satan, right? The Catholic Church, 325, the Creed of Nicaea, 325 years after the walk of our Messiah. They decided they were going to put all this stuff together. They changed Sunday. They changed the basically the godship of our Creator, and then gave it to his Son and gave it to the Ruach HaKodesh, and then put them all as one. And blended everything, and it's very, very confusing to absolutely everybody, and so it's incorrect as well. So, all right, well, that is it, guys. Thank you guys very, very much for hanging out with us. We love you guys very, very much. We are going to get busy bathing some dogs. It's going to be a very cold bath day, so we will hopefully not have too many adventures and stories for today. But we will see you guys all tomorrow, and we love you guys very much.
All right, shalom.
Shalom.